Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. Today I am very excited to present a review of the fascinating paper titled Temporally Consistent Survival Analysis. This work was published at NeurIPS 2022 and is a collaborated effort by Lucas Matry from Spotify and Daniel Luce from Columbia University. What makes this paper stand out is its incredibly elegant cross-disciplinary approach. The author take a core concept from reinforcement learning, specifically temporal difference learning, and apply it to the domain of survival analysis. By doing so, they dramatically improve the sample efficiency of predicting dynamic survival probabilities. Let's dive into exact how they achieve this. Before we jump into the novel contribution, let's briefly review the foundational method of survival analysis that this work built on. Most of us are familiar with the Kaplan-Meier estimator, a non-parametric way to estimate the survival curve over time. Then there is a co-proportional hazard model, which allows us to incorporate covariant like patient age or clinical metrics to see how they influence their hazard rate. Finally, survival analysis naturally handles light-censored data, ensuring that we don't discard information even if the study ends before the event occurs. However, despite their wide usage, these transitional methods share a crucial bottleneck. As highlighted at the bottom of the slide, they generally operate in what we call a statistic setting. They rely almost entirely on a single snapshot of data taken at the initial time of observation. This limitation is exactly where the motivation for this paper begins. In a static setting, we are forced to predict the long-term future using only the initial admission data. But the real world is inherently dynamic. Imagine a patient who visits a clinic weekly. During this visit, their blood pressure might fluctuate from 140 down to 130 and back up to 150. Their undying state is continuously changing. The same logic applies to user behavior, like a subscriber's listening habit change week by week on Spotify. Unfortunately, standard maximalized likelihood estimate approach only concern themselves with the final outcome, whether the patient died or the user charmed. Consequently, they completely throw away all the rich dynamic trajectory data of those intermediate states during the learning process. The author recognized this as a massive waste of time, a waste of data. So here is a paper's core proportional at a glance. The author asks a fundamental question. How can we effectively utilize sequential intermediate data to improve our survival prediction without making the model overly complex? Their brilliant answer is to introduce the philosophy of TD learning from reinforcement learning. The outcome of this integration is the TCSR algorithm. What is truly remarkable about TCSR is that it serves as a drop-in replacement. With just a few lines of code changes in your existing MLE pipeline, you can dramatically improve your model's predictive power. To formalize this problem, the author framed it using a Markov chain setup. We define a state space X encompassing all possible states an entity can take. There is a transition probability matrix P that dictating how states evolve step by step. Finally, the events of interest such as death or customer charm, is defined as the terminal state denoted by the empty set symbol. If you look at the diagram on the right, the intuition becomes clear. The subject receiving treatment I has a probability P(IA) of transitioning to a healthy state A and A1 minus P(IA) probability of transitioning to a sick state B. From this intermediate state, they transition to the terminal state with specific hazard probabilities. The key taken away is that getting to the terminal state involves a distinct observable path. In this discrete time Markov setting, survival functions are defined by three main probabilities shown on the slide. The PMF is the probability that the event occurs exactly at step K. Survival is the probability of surviving beyond step K, and the hazard is the conditional probability of the event occurs at step K, given that the subject has survived up to the point. I want to draw your attention to the key relationship at the bottom, so the math might look a bit dense. The intuition is simple. Surviving up to step K is equal to the production of surviving step 1 time surviving step 2 all the way to step K. It is a cumulative product of 1 minus hazard. Now let's look at how standard ML learned from data. The formula displayed is a standard binary cross entropy loss. Notice the target variable y. In ML, y is a hard target. It is exactly 1 or 0 based on whether the actual event was observed at that specific timestamp. The fundamental flaw here is that ML only maps the relationship between the very first observation x0 and this final hard output. Even if you use techniques like landmarking, which generate multiple artificial datasets at different time points, the model still directly regrets to the observed outcome. It completely bypasses learning the underlying dynamics of how state x1 transition to x2. To fix this inefficiency, the author introduced the core idea of the paper, temporal consistency. Let's list the large equation in the center together. It states that the probability of surviving k steps starting from state x must be mathematically equal to the expected value of surviving k minus 1 steps starting from the next state x. This is a trivial common sense probability identity. My chances of being alive 2 days equal my chances of surviving today, multiplied by my expected chance of surviving tomorrow. However, while it is a simple identity, using this as a constraint during model training completely changes the paradigm of survival analysis. If you have a background in artificial intelligence, this equation should be giving you a sense of deja vu. It structurally perfectly mirrors the Bellman equation used in reinforcement learning. In RL, the philosophy of temporal difference (TD) that learning is about bootstrapping. You don't wait until the game is over or the episode ended to update your value function. Instead, you update your current guess based on your guess of the next state. The author seamlessly translates this philosophy to survival analysis instead of waiting years for the final clinic outcome to train the model. We can update our survival prediction today by looking at the patient's state next month and using our model's prediction for that future state. Same philosophy, just a different domain. Let's contrast these two approaches using the concept of learning targets. As discussed, standard ML relies strictly on observed actual events, hard target. To use the analogy at the bottom of the slide, it is like evaluating a student's entire semester based solely on a single final exam. It ignores all the process made in between. The proposed TCSR method behaved differently. For the immediate next step, it used the observable hard target, but for future steps, it used the model's own prediction as a soft target. This is analogous to tracking a student's performance through weekly quizzes. By forcing the model to align its prediction step by step, we enforce temporary consistency, which act as a powerful legalizer and utilize every piece of data. Here is the actual pseudocode for the TCSR algorithm. You can see the logic clearly inside the inner loop. If the next state is the terminal event, the algorithm assigns a hard target. For any step beyond that, it sets the target y to the model's predicted survival probability, the soft target. Pay close attention to the final line where the parameter, the theta, is updated. The structure of the loss function is mathematically identical to standard cross-entropy MLE. This is why it is a drop-in replacement. You do not need to rewrite complex loss function. You simply swap out the target array and weight array in your existing code, and the algorithm optimizes for temporal consistency. So beyond looking elegant on paper, why does this field better performance? The first reason is trajectory pooling. Imagine two entire different treatment schemes. If by chance both patients end up passing through a common intermediate state, say state A, TCSR will use the data from both schemes to update the hazard estimate for state A. It pulls information across different trajectories, making it incredibly data efficient. The second reason is theoretically soundness. The author provides a rigorous convergence guarantee. They prove that for separable long linear models, this iterative bootstrapping process is guaranteed to convergence to a unique fixed point. Furthermore, they note it remains highly stable even when using deep neural network. Drawing further inspiration from RL, just as we have TD, the author proposed a generalized formulation, TCSR. When lambda equals 0, we got the pure 1 minus step look ahead TCSR we just discussed, which heavily rely on soft target and maximize the trajectory pooling effect. Patiently, as we turn the knob and set lambda equal 1, the mathematical formulation resolves exactly to the transitional landmark or MLE method. This proves that MLE and TCSR are not competing methodologies, but rather the two extreme ends of a single continuous spectrum connected by the parameter lambda. Let's look at the pivotal synthetic data experiment, the setup is quite harsh. There are 8 different treatments to evaluate, but we only have 10 sequences per treatment, and all sequences are right-centered after just 5 steps. Data is scarce. Looking at the chart, the x-axis is the number of treatment L, and the y-axis is Kendall's-Tau, which measure the accuracy of ranking the treatment effect. Note that the dot red line, the transitional landmarking method, flat lines around 0.42 because it treats every sequence independently. Having more treatment does not help it run. But look at the green line for TCSR. As L increase, performance skyrocket to nearly 0.88. That why? Because with more treatment, more trajectory passing through the shared intermediate state, triggering the trajectory filling effect. It gets a massively more accurate model out of the exact same limited data. The true victory for sample efficiency. As a conclusion, I'd like to share a briefly discussion and my personal opinion on this work. Its creative strengths lie in its elegance and practically building a bridge between reinforcement learning and survival analysis using a single concept, temporary consistency. This is conceptually beautiful, and the fact that it is a drop-in replacement with open source code makes it highly actionable for practitioners. However, there are limitations. The entire method hinges on the Markov assumption that the current state fully dictates the future. In real-world healthcare or user behavior, long-term historical dependency often exists, which this model might miss. Additionally, unrolling the sequence means the computational cost scale up linearly compared to standard MLE. To summarize our journal today, data inefficiency is a major problem in dynamic survival analysis. The TCSR algorithm solves this by bringing in the temporal consistency philosophy of TD learning by seamlessly blending hard observed target with soft predicted target. It stops throwing away intermediate data, resulting in overwhelming improvement in sample efficiency by a trajectory filling. If there is one key takeaway I want you to remember from this presentation, it is the question in the center of the screen. The next time you have sequential time varying data for survival analysis, don't just look at the end result. Consider exploiting temporal consistency. Thank you very much for your time.